folks, welcome back to the lab. Another project here, and oh, big surprise, it's a lantern project. What we have here is a Dietz Advance, and that's a big boy. Yeah, that's a big boy. Yeah, there's a problem here with the lift lever. That's not a problem. We can fix that. And I don't know a whole lot about the Dietz Advance. I seem to remember reading something about this being the cheap knockoff of the D-Lite, which could very well be the case. I don't know. And it needs a cap. I'm sure I have a donor here. We're going to have our work cut out for us here, I think, as far as first tackling the paint and then tackling the extraordinary amounts of rust and oxidation. That's just every inch of this is just that high texture. That's all. There's no holes. I don't see any holes. It's not Dietz glass. That's all right. I'm sure I have one that we can throw in there. So all right, let's get to this thing here. And it has a bail lock. We can put that in place, maybe solder it so it doesn't migrate. Okay, let's check this thing out. Take the bail off, much to my happiness. There we go. Ugh. So we know we got a problem here. That shouldn't be a problem to fix. Ooh. I'm trying to expose the seam here to see whether I need to lubricate it. Or other means to get it open. Yeah, you know, all the way around there. Yeah. Somebody already pried up the wing locks here. I might, since these tabs are already bent that far, I may bend them up just to get this off so I can get at the burner, which is what is seized in here heavily, I think. It certainly looks like that the burner is that wants to come off. So let's help it along a little bit. We're gonna bend these tabs up. Ah, do you hear that snap? That was all that spray paint. Runny spray paint got right down in there and sealed that up. As old as all this looks, man, nobody has had this cap off since they painted it. Who knows how long ago that was. Kind of good access angle here. I can't just go nuts with this stuff like you would a WD, because this stuff is worth its weight in gold. Oh, Jesus. All right, that went all the way around. Good. Okay, let me see. Ah. Look at that. Boy, I'm having good luck finding wicks. And that is seized. I bet we can get her going here. There we go. Now it's not seats, but we still have. There we go. It's dirty, but it's not in bad shape. It's really not. Let's check out the tank. Oh, boy, remember that part I said about, hey, look, wicks. Ah, I think there's another one in there. You kidding me? All right, now I get this crown off, which is all weird looking. All right, well, this is ready for us to take off for sure. Well, we got some of it off. I'd say probably 75%. And I am going to, yeah, made a mess out of my kitchen sink. Good thing I remembered to shield things. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to dry it off. I'm going to throw a little more oven cleaner on there and give it one more application, and I'll see you back in the lab. Okay, well, I'll tell you, I'm feeling pretty good about this thing. I really thought we were gonna find a real bunch of holes and things. Well, I mean, we still may, but I don't think so. Things are pretty encouraging here. I mean, we might get a pinhole in here or something like that, but as far as how the rest of the metal looks, it's pretty good. And I'm going to be able to clean this up pretty darn nice. And I don't see any parts with any major issues at all so far. So I mean, we got to put this part back in, but that's no problem at all. I am going to get this off of here because we have some work to do with the lift lever. Okay, great. This will help a lot. I should have freaking done that before I went to remove the paint, but that's all right because virtually all the paint's off anyway. So I'm going to go to the big wheel for all this stuff. All right, so I'm going to have quite a session on the big wheel here before me and you talk again. Need to find a cap that is probably going to need some kind of paint removal from it. So let me do that right now, see if I can hunt down a suitable replacement. Okay, good. I have a disastrous D-light that turned out to be a colander. And it's also from the 30s. So it is period correct for this. By the way, all these tons of patent dates going back from 1898 all the way up to December of 32, and the build date is from Syracuse, October 1933. And these things were only, I think, made to like 2 years, like 32 to 34. Like this is Depression era stuff. So this being a cheaper version of the D-Lite, a economy version per se. So, and I kind of felt it too. Like this, maybe it's only like 1 gauge thinner, but I can feel it. It feels a little different. All right, so over to the big wheel to get at all this stuff. And we'll be back. Okay. More encouraging developments here. The body of this thing's going to be solid, I think. Granted, I got to fix the bail lock and fix the lift mechanism. That's fine. Hell. And maybe, I don't know, I gave it a quick grind on the bottom. Probably no pinholes. That's why I wanted to give it a once over with the big wheel, because typically the big holes reveal themselves pretty quick. No? Excellent. So I'm going to start working on the small bits, get them out of the way, and we'll start working on this. Killed this one, but I take advantage of the way that these bits are constructed. They're made of 2 pieces, pretty much kitchen scrubbies. In fact, here's a good example. In fact, here's a green one. It's pretty much, you can see the line there. Pretty much what they've done. Boy, I wonder if I can make my own, get a hole punch. Yeah, I'd be here all day putting them together. Okay, so I use the advantage of this to get around things like the globe guard. Polish them up like, top and the sides at the same time. We're almost done here, so hopefully this bit will last. How to get over there? I'm gonna see, bend this back out. Yeah, that's where we want it. Right there. Okay. So, I am starting with the steel wool, and I figure we'll try to get a lot of this stuff done before we do our repair. Then after the repair, we will treat and reassemble. You know where I'm going with this, so I'll come back to you. Okay, we got a couple small pieces here. Clean up a bit. I would like to make this right. Flatten her out here. Okay, that is now centered. Maybe even just a little more. Okay. We can actually do this right now. Why not? Beautiful. And we got that part, that part, that part. There, that, this, that, there, Now, I'm not convinced I like how clean this is. So, need some red. Maybe even a gray or a tan. All right. This globe plate needs to be a little cleaner. Let's see what the 180 does. Okay, now we're going to do some repairs. First, I want to get the old solder off this part. All right. Yep, there I am. Setting fire to my table. So I can hold it up in the air and do this one and not burn my... There. Now I'm going to be self-conscious about that burn. So So I see there's this one hole's a little bent, but I'm going to clear away some of this. See what I'm dealing with there. Might need to bend back a little bit. All right. Okay. So we are back close to, well, that got beaten up a little bit too on that side. So obviously the reason that piece had come out is it got smashed up a bit. I'm going to hit it with a little acetone right now before I start assembling it back together, just so I don't forget. Let's see, we may need to modify this. Might have been some bends in it. Oh, well, let's see. I got my solder removal, kind of left this really annoying blob right here. Goodbye, blob. Any blobs here? Let's check. Just a little blob. All right. All right, I think I have my placement. Just gotta hold it there. Okay, and I don't care if I burn a little twist tie. Okay, now to set this up for soldering without moving that, let's see what I can do. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay some solder down on this bottom one, and then I need a little, that'll free me up to adjust the top one a little bit. I think the top one needs adjusting, but I'm in a spot that if I move this teeter-totter this, it all kind of goes wonky. So I'm hoping a lot of flux. It's just what I wanted, though. Just what I needed right there. So now I can come back up here, try that out. So I'm trying to find out the spacing that I want. I think that's where I want it. And I'm going to leave this where it's at because it's holding it in place for me. Hopefully I can get around that. I think I can. I am gonna pre-warm it before I add a little more flux. It seems to like it. That's all we need. Oh, I know. I got a little hole. Sorry. I got a little hole somewhere in there too, but I gotta let this cool down. And then we're gonna we'll go find that since we have the equipment out here. Okay, excellent. Before I go any further, let me go nuts with a little acetone, get rid of this flux that's everywhere. Because this flux will start flash rust. There it is right there. Can you see it? Huh, I got the focus right, I think. Acetone. Maybe I want to scuff this a tiny bit. Oh, made it bigger. Great. All right. Let's heat it up a little. And I'll check that before we leave here. Okay, good. We bonded. Excellent. I'm just going to scuff this down a little bit. Great. Okay, part of the landscape now. One single hole, this whole thing, and it's great. Great. All right, so why don't we treat before I finish reassembly? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that marks always. I just cleaned this off real good. It's still wet. But I'll always remember the Dietz Advance. I did that. And I was sitting there watching that turn black. I'm like, it's just going to turn black. I'm not going to burn it. Yeah, whatever. Battle scars. Man, this thing's full of battle scars. Maybe we'll put some blues rock on. Some blues rock for this oil application interlude here, which will obviously become a time lapse right about now. All right. Let's continue our reassembly. Okay, now we got this. Oh, let's do the crown. What do you say? Well, speaking of red paint, actually, let me do some minor adjustments to these tabs. Before we go on doing that. Okay. One, two, three. Four. I always forget that the tabs go to the outside, so I never remembered to clean them properly. They look like garbage. And of course, me being me, I gotta fix that right now before I continue. Then I'll just kind of spread a little bit of the linseed around. That's everywhere else. Perfect. Okay, now we got this. And I went and I cleaned the wicks, the many wicks that I found in here. Let me go grab one. We'll put a fresh one in. Well, fresh as in freshened up. I washed it. Okay, I did that a little crooked. Okay. All right. I don't want flame ears coming off there. Okay. Very nice. Boom. Back in the little clips. Oh, geez. Gotta find a... Oh, still gotta put the bail on. And then... Okay. We didn't need to solder that. I'm pretty sure that's pressure fit on there. Bail test. Very good. Now, wow, that bail lock is serious. No wonder it kind of came off. Okay. All right, we got an old D-Light lock knob. We'll get them lock knobs up on there. All right. Beautiful. Here we have done it, folks. I was so worried about this thing being in my project bin that this was going to be riddled with holes, so that's why I didn't touch it. Now, it's going to plague me with little tiny bits of red paint now that I'm seeing everywhere. Could be worse. Could be riddled with holes instead of red paint. And this turned out really nice, folks. And we just only had a couple little mishap there. This thing was busted off. Okay, so we were almost there, folks. We were almost there. But this needs to be fixed. So this needs to go in farther in here by a very small margin. So all right, so I want to make sure that locks down. That was better. Okay, good. I got to reinforce that a little bit. Got to acetone it because it had oil, linseed oil all over it. All right, I can clean that up a little bit. Make that look less crappy. But first, we got to test it to see if I need to lower or push that top in a little farther. So I'm going to put the globe back in, and we will test while it has, oh man, look at all the fingerprints. We're going to start over with reassembly once we get this all. Man, there is no room to play in there, and I just think that this is just badly worn off there. Yeah. Because, I mean, the mechanism itself is badly worn. Oh, okay, yeah. So we see the shape of that one where it's all just kind of rounded there. And you look at this old D-Light, look at that. So that whole area there This whole area right here is just worn off. Wow. Holy smokes. That's crazy. This thing was used a lot. Wow. And by the way, this thing is Swiss cheese. That's why it's in this state in my parts bin. So, yeah. But anyway, so this post here is hitting here and here. I can't bring this in anymore. So we are maxed out. Now I could try bending this, but I think that was already tried. Yeah, it's just worn. That's all. Yeah, nothing I can do really about that. Unless I grabbed a new one of these. That's not all worn down there. Yeah. Yeah. No. First of all, I gotta fix this. Acetone. I'm gonna reapply the oil to this whole little area here. Well, it's just gonna have to be like that. It's just too badly worn. This thing must have been really used, man. That's okay. So you can just go like that, light it. No big deal. Other than that, operations are great. Nice action and everything, but it's just worn. It's just badly worn. Okay. Put the bail back on. Oh. Interesting. This bail. So the bail lock was off to the side when I first brought this in here. So it seems to be that bail lock is causing this other side to pop out. Okay, did a little bit of bending and we're good. We're good. I think these angles were just too much that way, both sides. Okay, bail lock still works, and they don't go flopping out. All right. Now we're done. Now we are done. All right. Let's come on down and take a look. Here we are, Dietz Advance. Pretty cool. Man, with a D-light, an old school 1918 patent date D-light globe on here. And this being a Depression era 1933 lantern. Folks, this was great. I mean, it's from beginning to end. This was an exciting build. Look at, geez, I got it all dusty and dirty by doing my stuff. Okay, folks, this was great, and we're all done, and we're on to the next one. And as usual, folks, here in the lab, and I want to make sure that me and Supervisor Baby want to make sure that you know, don't you go change.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.